we go. Good, good. Perfect. So we are going to start seated today. So again, if you want to prop yourself up under something, under your bottom, that's fine. And this one was kind of inspired by a conversation with a friend of mine who is a professional musician. And she's just recorded some new music. And I was asking her whether it was finished. And she said, no, I'm still waiting. They're doing some of the final editing touches to it, and then it will be ready. And so I asked her whether she'd heard any of it yet. Was she pleased with it? She kind of pulled a face. I said, oh, you're not happy with it. This is a woman who's a professional. She is a professional musician. And she said, this is the worst bit, the bit when it's finished and I have to listen to it. I said, well, surely that's the best bit, when you get to hear all of the, the wondrous editing and everything they've done. And she said, no, because all I hear are the mistakes. I hear the bit where I might not be on key, or, maybe I'm off beat, or there's something that doesn't quite resonate. She said, so all I hear are the problems with it and the things I could do differently. And she said that she was given some brilliant advice by one of her music teachers, who said to her, listen to yourself when you are doing something else. So when you're, doing the dishes or walking a dog or sitting in the car driving somewhere, just have it on in the background. And she was told that you're then more likely to listen to it as an audience would, simply as an observer, an impartial observer. It's a beautiful sound in the background that you're listening and soaking up. And I thought there's a lot to be said for that with our yoga as well. That sometimes when we leave a practice, we can focus all too often on the things that maybe haven't worked. The fact that maybe your hamstrings were tight or your balance was wobbly. Maybe you couldn't do all of the practice. I know I sometimes feel like that. And I think it's yoga encourages us to be that impartial observer, just like my friend was told to be. So whatever the body offers us today, however much or as little as we feel able to do, let that be enough today. Let's become that kind of gentle, impartial observer, observing with kind of curiosity rather than a sternness and any sense of judgment. So let's come to a comfortable seat. I'm not going to sing to you either, don't worry. I'm not taking that much inspiration from my friend. I'll leave that to her. Let's come to a comfortable seated position. You can lean up against a wall. You can stretch your legs out. I'm just going to cross mine. Put something underneath your hips if you need to. Can sometimes just help your pelvis drop forwards if you find it difficult to sit. Or bring the hands onto your knees, onto your lap, palms up, palms down, wherever feels almost intuitive and natural this morning. And maybe just take a moment to close your eyes, or just lower your gaze to the floor in front of you. And begin just to come into our practice this morning, arriving at our mat, leaving whatever busyness has preceded your class behind, and kind of not getting pulled forwards into whatever the rest of the day might hold for us. It will all be there when we're finished. And hopefully we'll be able to go back to it feeling a little bit more connected with ourselves, connected with our breath. And so every day, even if we did the same practice day in, day out, which we don't, but even if we did, every day it would feel different, because as Alice in Wonderland said, every day we are a different person to who we were yesterday. So take a moment just to tune in with how you're feeling today. No judgment, no critique, just that observation, how you're feeling physically, energetically and emotionally will all affect how we practice on the mat this morning. Now begin to just tune into your breath this morning. See if you can gently bring that breath under conscious control, smoothing out any speed bumps between the inhale and the exhale. So each breath seamlessly follows the next. Shoulders just relaxed away from your ears. It's getting to be that time of year where we kind of fold in on ourselves as the colder weather begins to kick in. So let's take care that the shoulders are down and relaxed and the chest is nice and broad. And from that position, let's just bring the fingertips down alongside you, dropping the chin down towards your chest. And actively lift your chest towards your chin as you draw your chin down towards your chest, drawing the shoulders back. So feel a nice stretch into the back of the neck. So collarbones broaden. And then blinking the eyes open as you inhale, let's reach up towards the sky. Maybe the palms touch overhead, maybe they don't this morning. And exhale, bring the fingertips all the way down. You can even drop your chin down if that feels good to stretch the neck. Inhale, lifting up, maybe looking up. As you reach the arms up, maybe again they touch. Exhale, lower the hands, maybe drop the chin down towards the chest. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Stretching things out nice and gently to begin with this morning. Lovely. And then this time we'll reach the arms all the way up above the head. Bringing the hands behind you this time onto your fingertips or fingers pointing forwards or out to the side, and gently roll the shoulder blades together. Open up through the chest. Maybe take the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then we'll slide the right arm or the right hand out to the right and bring the left arm over the top into a lovely side stretch. Inhale through the center. And then tick-tock over to the other side. So just starting to move with your breath, opening up some space into the side body, keeping the sit bones nice and grounded. Let's do one more over to the left. Lovely, reaching both arms up towards the sky and bringing them down, down, down to the middle of the chest. And then rolling round and over onto all fours. So finding your way onto all fours. And this morning we'll tuck our toes under. Let me just take this jumper off. We'll tuck our toes under so we can incorporate a little bit of stretch into the feet as we're warming up our backs and stretching the chest. So toes tucked, hands onto your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, pressing gently down into the earth, firming up through the belly. So we've got that lovely tabletop position to begin with. And as you inhale, let's bring the chest forwards, chin just comes away from the chest as the bottom lifts. And then exhale like an angry cat, rounding on up. And again, as you continue to move with your breath, observing how that feels across the chest and the shoulders, widening your hands if you need to. Yeah, just rolling backwards and forwards. And pressing down gently into the balls of the feet so the feet get a little bit of a stretch. Lovely. Let's do that one last time. And then we'll come on to that all fours position. Keep the toes tucked and the hands where they are, but just move your bottom back towards your heels, coming into a half dog. And maybe just walk your hips from side to side, little wobble there just to massage across the feet. And then looking forwards, just take your hands forwards by about one or half a handspan. Just a little further forward so we've got some space. And as you inhale, come onto all fours. And as you exhale, continue to bring your chest down a little ways between your arms, just a little ways, elbows hugged in. Inhale back onto all fours. And exhale, bottom to heels. Beginning to warm up the wrists. Inhale. As you exhale, elbows squeeze in, nose just beyond fingertips. Hasn't got to be a big move. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling and exhaling, that little squeeze. Try not to let the elbows flare out to the side. We'll do that one more time, almost like the beginning of like a little plank pose there. Lovely, back onto all fours, toes tucked. Let's take a child pose, bottom to heels, flattening your feet this time if that's comfortable. Maybe coming onto the tips of fingers and thumbs there so you can press your hands down and draw your hips back towards your heels. Just take the heat out of the wrists for a moment. Breathing some space into the back and the side of the body. And then bringing the palms flat to the floor, coming back onto all fours. Feel free if you're feeling a little less than 100% today to continue with your cat and cow. If you're feeling okay, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. Just start to walk your dog out, ending one knee and then the other. Maybe again, a little wiggle at the hips. Keep it nice and loose, just finding some space in the backs of the legs there. Hands pressing forwards and down, hips high. Lovely. Then if you're in that downward dog, let's pick up our heels, come onto the balls of the feet as you inhale. And exhale, come back down onto all fours, but don't let the knees touch down, they just hover. Inhaling, hips come up nice and high. And exhaling, knees just hover off the earth, gazes forwards. One more time, inhale, building up a little bit of strength in the core. Coming down, 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 knees hover, pressing into your hands, pause. And then bring the knees down, flatten the feet, give the feet a little flap, maybe the wrists a little shake. Lovely. And then pressing into your hands, we're going to slide your right leg back behind you. Lifting it hip height, not twisting the hip out to the side, and just take your left hand forwards, maybe just coming onto your finger pads. You can stay there, or you can lift that arm up, level with your shoulder. Lovely. Inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee underneath you. Inhaling, extend and lengthen. You can work just the leg this morning. And exhale to squeeze. So if you need both hands on the floor, again, no judgment, just the observation, the balance. Needs a little bit of support today. Let's do one more. Inhale. Stretching in opposite directions and exhale to squeeze. Arm and leg extend now, or just the leg. If you've got the arm extended, lift up a little higher. Let's try taking the arm and leg out in a slight diagonal, challenging our balance even more. Ooh, come all the way back. Bringing the hand down and just bring that leg behind you. Ball of foot to floor. Now we're going to draw that left shoulder back and just pick up your right foot and place it over to the left. So you're crossing it over your left foot. And keeping the toes on the floor, draw a big semicircle and come out to the right, looking over the right shoulder. So inhale, leg behind you, and exhale, it slides over to the left, look over to the left, inhale to center, and exhale to the right. It's called a cat's tail. If you want to work harder, lift your foot just off the floor as you move the leg from side to side. So leg out to the right, all the way back, and leg over to the left. Next time you bring that leg out to the right side, let's place the foot down, big toe roughly level with the knee, and walk your hands back towards you, lifting up into gate pose. So you can always bend your knee if that's more comfortable this morning. Pressing the hips forwards, let's take an inhale. Right arm down, left arm over the top, exhale. Through the middle as you inhale. As you exhale, let's swap arms and maybe the left fingertips touch the floor, maybe they just hover. Inhaling to center. Over the top as you exhale. Lovely. Inhale. And exhale, seeing if the fingertips can touch the floor. Lovely. Do it one more time. Oh, big stretch for the side body. Last time coming down to the left. And then this time we'll reach both arms up towards the ceiling. And bring both hands all the way back down. Take the leg back behind you, bending both knees underneath you. Tuck the toes, take an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Have a little pedal out through the feet there. And you can always drop down onto all fours and do this little next sequence from all fours. So either from your downward dog or all fours, as you inhale, shift the weight forwards, coming into plank or knees down plank. Exhale, hips high, downward dog, or all fours. Rolling the body forwards as you inhale. And exhale, pushing hips back, downward dog. Let's do that one more time, inhale. So pausing in your plank, pressing into your hands, doming the upper back, we'll take an inhale. Exhale, we'll all lower the knees and come down onto your belly. Hands just by the shoulders, really tuck those elbows in tight to the body. Hover the hands just off the floor by an inch or so. And pressing into the tops of the feet, lift the chest. Take an inhale. And exhale, lower the hands, lower the head. So a little hand release cobras. Hover the hands, squeeze the elbows in. Inhale, lift the chest. It might not be a big move at all. Really good for back strength. Exhale to lower. Last time, hands hover, elbows tuck in. Lifting up. Keep that lift. Place your hands down just by your ribs. And maybe come up into a little higher back bend into a cobra. Lower down, come back onto all fours, toes tucked, half dog, hips to heels, stretch it out. Let's try that on the other side. So as you find your way onto all fours, this time it's left leg that slides back. And you can bring your right hand forward, you can keep the fingertips on the floor, or as you lift the leg, lift the arm, thumb up, level with your ear. Lovely. Again, you can work just the leg. Take an inhale. Elbow to knee underneath you as you exhale. Woo! Inhale, extend. This will get us warm. And exhale to squeeze everything to the middle. Do that twice more. If you need to adjust that left hand under the shoulder, can really help with balance, so make sure it's right underneath your shoulder there. Lovely. Next time, arm and leg are extended. Pause there, lifting that front arm a little higher. Maybe trying that little diagonal lift if it feels okay. Woo! And then back to center, hand coming down, leg coming back down behind you. And we'll try that little cat's tail. So this time we'll draw the gaze over the right shoulder and take that left foot over to the right. And then all the way back behind you. And that semicircle out to the left. So inhale, leg comes back. And exhale, sweep it over to the right. Inhale to center. And over to the left. As we do that twice more. If you want to hover your foot off the floor, trying to keep those hips stable in the middle. Really good to build up strength in the hip. And the next time you have that leg out to the left, we'll pause, bringing the foot down, walking the hands back, ready for that gate pose. So again, you can always bend your underneath knee. Stretching the arms out, trying to press the hips forwards. We'll take an inhale over to the left this time. Lovely. Inhale to center. Right fingertips maybe touch the floor or towards the floor. Inhale to center. And over the top. Exhale. Let's do that a couple more times. Oh, so you can really feel those muscles of the obliques having to work. Lovely. Let's come all the way over to the right one last time. And then reaching both arms up towards the sky. Hands come down underneath the shoulders. Bring both knees back underneath you. Tucking the toes, take an inhale. Exhale, downward dog, or stay on all fours. Again, we'll do that little rolling cobra flow. So as you inhale, roll the body forwards to plank. And exhale, push back downward dog. Twice more if that feels okay this morning. Inhale, pressing into your hands again, doming the upper back. And exhale, one more time, inhale. Pausing in that plank, knees lifted or lowered. Again, press into your hands. Try and lift your upper back towards the ceiling. And then knees down, chest down. Woo! Stretching out through the feet. Hands by the shoulders. Again, squeeze those elbows in tight to the body. Hover the hands. And as you lift your chest, just the way, don't lift the feet off the floor. And exhale, try keeping the tops of the feet connected. Lift the hands, lift the chest as you inhale. And exhale, release. All the muscles of the back body working. This time we'll lift and hold. Slide those hands back towards the ribs. And continue up into your cobra. Now we're all the way down, down, down. Back onto all fours, take an inhale. And as you exhale, toes tuck, bottom to heels. Pause in that half dog. Lovely. And then from there, let me show you something we're going to do carrying on throughout practice. So have a little look, and that way we can just go with the flow. It's called a broken wing. And it's a really good shoulder stretch. Anyone who's got any shoulder issues, alternative will be Sphinx and just looking over one shoulder and the other shoulder, come down and then repeat. For a deeper stretch, we're lying on our tummies with your arms stretched out level with your shoulders. Now bring your right hand just by your right shoulder and flick your right toes up towards the sky. You roll over towards the left. You try and bring your right toes down just behind your left leg. If that doesn't work, one leg on top of the other. And then this left arm, we try and tuck out from underneath us, reach it further away from you, and then walk it a little further up towards the top of your head. So you're really getting a chest stretch. And then we'll try that on the other side. So underneath arm stretches away, and then walk it a little further up. So it's a really good stretch out for the chest, okay? But alternative is Sphinx. Let's all find downward facing dog. And this time from your downward dog, have a little walk forwards to the top of your mat. Coming into a forward fold as you bend your knees, cradle your elbows, and maybe sway your body gently from side to side. Keep that nice bend in the knees so the hamstrings can switch off. Lovely. And then bringing both hands down to the floor, bending both knees generously. If your hands don't reach the floor, bring both hands onto your thighs. So bending both knees. Now straighten just the right leg and reach the right arm out and up. You can do this with the left hand on the thigh. Drawing the right hip back and then bend both knees. Hands come down. Just the left leg straightens as the left arm lifts. And then bending the knee, hand comes down. Adding on, right leg straightens. Reach that right arm forwards, all the way up and all the way back as you draw a big circle. One more with the right arm. Right leg is straight. Inhaling up. And exhaling, bending both knees, fingertips to floor. Left leg straightens, reach the left arm straight forwards. And then all the way up as you open the chest, reaching back and down. One more with breath. Inhale, reaching forwards and up. And exhale, back and down, bending both knees generously. And now rolling up to stand, let the arms dangle. Come up nice and slowly. Lovely. Maybe have a little shoulder roll at the top. And then standing towards the top of your mat, feet underneath the hips. Let's bring the hands together at the heart. Let's warm up the body this morning on this rather damp autumnal morning with some variations on our sun salutes. So let's circle the arms out and up. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, let's come into a forward fold, bend the knees as much as you need to. Hands slide up to shins or thighs, lifting up halfway as you inhale. And exhale, coming all the way down into that fold. Rising up to stand, sweep the arms out and up. Maybe the palms touch. Exhale, hands draw down to the heart. Lovely. Twice more. Inhale. And exhale, really taking that deep dive down over the legs. Lifting up halfway, so bringing the chest forward, shoulders away from ears. And exhale, folding back down. Rising on up, big breath in, reaching up, taller than before. Hands to heart, exhale, one more like that, warming us up this morning. Stretching things out as we take that forward fold, maybe the legs a little straighter. Maybe fingertips stay on the floor. As you lift up halfway, you'll bring them up your legs and fold back in. Let's rise up one last time. Hands coming down to the heart. Lovely. So making sure you're at the top of your mat. Let's sweep the arms out and up. Big breath in. As you breathe out, bring the hands behind you. So you can either just place your hands on your bottom and squeeze your elbows back, or interlace your hands with your palms open. And pressing the hips forwards, maybe start to straighten the arms a little bit, opening up across the chest. Or squeeze the bottom as maybe you lift your chin and you can stay there, or bend the knees and take the arms up and over if that feels okay on the shoulders. Just let the head relax, let the arms just open up across the chest. And then releasing the hands onto your low back, separating hands, rise up to stand, sweep the arms all the way up, take an inhale. Hands to heart, exhale, lovely, here we go. Rising up, inhale. Let's take that forward fold, exhale. Lifting up halfway, breath in. And as you breathe out, we'll step back to downward dog or onto all fours. I'm pausing in that first downward dog of our sun salute so you can really get the sense of almost pulling the sticky mat apart with your hands and your feet, hands pressing forwards and down, heels stretching down and back. Don't worry if they don't touch the mat. And then as you inhale, roll the body forwards to plank, just as we did before. And as you exhale, knees down, chest down. Let's keep the hands under the shoulders this time, or go ahead and widen them as you find your cobra. Inhaling and exhaling down onto your tummy. Onto all fours, toes tucked, take an inhale. Exhale, take that half dog, bottom to heels, stretching the arms forwards. And then coming back onto all fours, finding your downward dog, or staying on all fours this morning, choice is yours. Again, finding that height in the hips, the hands pressing forwards and down. Now, you can walk, you can step, or you can join me being a little playful, bringing your feet to your ankles together. Bend your knees, look forwards, take an inhale. And as you exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. No judgment. Exhale to fold. You could do lots of little hops. Rising up to stand. Deep breath in. Hands to heart. Exhale, lovely. Rising up with the arms, take an inhale. Exhaling, hands come behind you. And again, hands on bottom or interlacing them. And as we're creatures of habit, we invariably interlace in the same way. So see if you can just Have the other little finger on top this time as you open up across the chest. Lovely. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, take that forward fold all the way down over the legs. Maybe the arms lift up and over. Lovely. And again, with that little change of the fingers, you might feel it feels totally different. Releasing the hands, sweeping the arms all the way out and up. Let's rise up to stand. Hands coming to heart. Exhale, lovely. Let's rise on up, breath in. Coming down into your forward fold, second round of our sun salute. Lifting up halfway, take an inhale. And stepping back into your downward dog, or come on to all fours, choice is yours. Body comes forwards to plank, take an inhale. Knees lifted or lowered, yogi's choice, come down, down, down onto your tummy. Flattening feet, find your cobra, take an inhale. And exhale to fold. Back onto all fours, toes tucked, take an inhale. And sending the hips back to the heels into that half dog, stretch it all out. Lovely, coming back onto all fours. Finding your downward dog, or again, staying on all fours, making your way to the top of the mat. And again, if you're with me, you can walk, you can step, or if you want to play, feet, ankles together, bend the knees, look forwards, take an inhale. Exhaling, walk, stepping, or hopping, or lots of hops to the top of the mat. Lifting up halfway, take an inhale. And exhale to fold. Rise on up. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, hands to heart, just pause for a moment in that mountain pose. For some reason, I've disappeared from the screen for some strange reason. Ah, how bizarre. There we go. Lovely. I hope I'm not for you. I'm okay. So we're going to add on our little sun salute. So feet hip width apart, hands to heart. Let's send the hips back into your chair pose. So just melt the hips back. Kind of keep the chest lifted. Hands might stay at the heart today, or go ahead and reach them forwards or up into that lovely wide V shape, giving the shoulders some space. Now keeping the legs as they are, we're going to sweep the arms all the way back and down behind you like a Superman cloak, lengthening through the little fingers. And then reach the arms back up. We'll take an inhale. Exhale, sweeping the arms, so staying low in the legs, building up some heat. Woo! Inhale, rising up. And exhale, just sweep the arms. One more time, inhale. And this time as you exhale, let's come down into that forward fold. Oh, that feels better. Lifting up halfway, take an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, or all fours. Rolling the body forwards to plank as you inhale. Coming down onto your tummy as you exhale, ready for that broken wing. So either Sphinx pose if shoulders feel tight today, or we'll all reach the arms out level with your shoulders and just turn to look over your right arm. So you're looking towards your right hand. Right hand comes just alongside your shoulder, and we bend the right knee, toes up towards the sky. And pressing into that hand, we roll onto the outside of the left leg. Bringing the toes just down behind the left leg, or resting one leg on top of the other. And just try and stretch that left arm a little further away from you. Maybe walk your hand up towards the top of your head. So you should feel a stretch across your chest, your shoulder if that's too intense. Come slowly back onto your belly and take a Sphinx pose. Lovely. Slowly, slowly, let's come back down onto your tummy. Stretching out the right arm this time, looking over your left arm. Left hand just comes by the shoulder. Bending left knee. Toes to the ceiling, rolling onto the outside edge of right leg. And again, you can touch the toes down. You can rest one leg on top of the other. And try and reach that right arm a little further away from you. And then walk the hand a little further up towards the top of your head. And again, if that's too much, you know that you can always come out, take a lovely Sphinx pose instead. Really gets into that shoulder. And then gently coming all the way back onto your tummy. Hands underneath the shoulders, push back all fours, take an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. From your downward dog, let's just bend your right knee and extend back through that left heel. Really stretch the left heel down. And then right leg, let's float the right leg up towards the sky, bending the knee. Just dropping your heel to your bottom. So you're having a little peep underneath your right armpit. Trying to press into your right hand. Lovely. Stretching the legs straight back behind you. Take an inhale. Exhale, step it forwards between your hands. Help it out if it doesn't get there. And just step your left foot out to the left a little bit. Turning the toes out about 45 degrees. Ready for our warrior one. So you're going to sweep the arms out and up. Swan warrior one. We're facing the top of our mat, not the long edge of our mat. So go ahead and adjust your back foot so you can try and swing your hips round. And then lengthen up through the arms. Maybe even take the gaze up towards the sky there as you reach up through the fingertips, softening the rib cage, so try not to pop the chest forwards. And then we'll bring the hands together above the head. And as you lower them down, can you bring your elbows and your forearms together, or at least closer together, until elbows are roughly level with your chest. Coming into our little cactus arms. So as you inhale, we draw the elbows back, open up through the chest. And exhale, rounding the back as you draw the elbows and forearms together. Inhaling, opening up. And exhale, squeezing everything towards each other. Let's do that one more time. So a lovely stretch for the upper back and the chest. And the next time we've got the arms open out to the side and that little cactus will pause. Extending back through the arms, again like that Superman cloak. And take that little lean forwards over your front leg, reaching back through the little fingers. If that's too much, bring both hands onto your front knee and give yourself some support. If you're with me with the arms reaching back, can you interlace them? Draw the knuckles back as you bow the body down on the inside of your front thigh. Humble warrior. Again, if that's too much, hands on the front knee for some support. Let the head drop, you're gazing towards your back heel. Lovely. And then releasing the hands, finding that warrior one again, reaching on up, strong warriors, take an inhale. Hands come down, exhale. Take a little pivot on the back foot, step back into your downward dog. You've got the option to stay there, have a little rest, or again, roll the body forwards to plank, take an inhale. Exhaling down onto your tummy, your cobra, or maybe a little cheeky upward dog this morning, pressing into palms of hands and tops of feet. And then tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And just turn around the other way so I can face you. And so this time, let's just bend your left knee, stretching the right heel back. And then we'll float the left leg up behind you, bending your knee so your heel drops down towards your bottom. So this time we're having a little peep underneath your left armpit. Try and press your rib cage back towards that standing leg and press through the hands. And straightening the leg back behind you, we'll take an inhale. And exhale, step or help it forwards. Woo, it's a long way to go, so give it a hand. Popping that right foot out to the right, toes out about 45 degrees. Finding your warrior one, so again, hips and heart facing towards the top of your mat. Reaching the arms up towards the sky. Again, trying to pull the mat apart with your feet. Lovely, and then hands join. And as you bring the elbows down in front of your chest, we're trying to bring the elbows and the forearms at least towards one another. They might not touch, that's okay. And then as you inhale, we draw the elbows back, palms face forwards, open the chest. Exhale, squeezing everything together. So inhale, we open the chest, elbows draw back, maybe you lift your gaze. And then exhale, squeezing the elbows and forearms together. Lovely, one more time, inhale. And exhale. So this time we'll draw the elbows back into that little cactus and then straightening the arms back like that Superman cloak, leaning forwards as though someone is pulling the little fingers back behind you. Remember, you can use that front knee for support. And then interlacing the hands, drawing the knuckles back as you take that bow down on the inside of your front thigh, letting your gaze drop. Again, you can use both hands on your front knee to help you if this is a little bit too strong today. Lovely. And then power through the feet. Release the arms, come all the way back up into your warrior. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down, little pivot on the back foot. We'll step back into your downward facing dog. Your downward dog, let's roll the body forwards to plank. And then coming down onto your tummy. Let's rest one hand on top of the other. Coming down into your crocodile pose. So just pick up one leg and stretch it back behind you as though someone is pulling your toes back behind you, and then place the leg down. And then do the same with the other leg. Lift it up, stretch it back, and then place it down, and you might feel that you've created a little bit more space in the front of the hips. And then from there, right heel comes in towards your bottom, flexing the foot. So you might stay here this morning, just build up some strength, working on your glute and your hamstring. If you can, and you've got the flexibility, right hand reaches back, taking hold around the foot, resting the head back down as you bring that heel in towards your bottom. So you can work on strength, both hands underneath your forehead, or stretch, holding on around the ankle. If you're holding on around the ankle, we'll press the hips down into the mat. And imagine that knee is sliding a little further away from your hip. You might choose to stay here, getting a lovely stretch through the thigh. Or as you inhale, just lift your chest up away from the floor by a few inches. And then exhale, lower your forehead back down onto the left hand. So inhale, we lift the chest. And exhale, we release. One more time if that feels okay. Inhaling. And exhaling to release. Letting go of that right foot, bringing both hands underneath your head, seeing how that feels. And then swapping sides, flexing the left foot, heel comes into bottom. And again, you might just stay there, getting that nice sense of strength, building up the back of the leg, or reaching back with left hand, catching hold around your ankle. You draw the heel in towards your bottom, lengthening knee away from hip, and gently pressing your hips down into the floor. Stretching out that big quad, that big thigh muscle. And again, you might stay there. Or again, as you inhale, we lift the chest just halfway. And exhale, we lower it down. We're just a little lift, not overdoing it. We're just opening up through the chest. And exhale to lower. One more time if that feels okay. Inhaling. And exhaling. Lovely. Releasing the foot. Hands come underneath your forehead. Bending both knees so the toes point up to the ceiling. Just windscreen wiper the legs from side to side. Have a little massage through the front of the hips there. And then we'll extend the legs back behind you. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Push back all fours. And then hips to heels. Take a child pose, reaching the arms out in front of you. Or maybe feeding the arms back alongside the body with your palms facing up to the sky, reaching your fingers just beyond your toes. So if your shoulders feel tight today, that's a nice version you can have a little play with. Wherever you are, can you just allow the body to melt down? Don't worry if your bottom doesn't quite reach your heels. Now, if you've got your hands pointing back behind you, let's all reach the arms out in front of us. Just nudge your bottom over to the left. And walk both hands over to the right side of your mat. And you can keep the hands apart or bring your left hand to rest on top of your right hand. So hands are over to the right side of the mat, left hand on top of right hand. Now take a little lean towards that right arm and see if you can open that left armpit up towards the ceiling. And then drop the armpit and feel the upper back nice and balanced and even. So as you inhale, we lean to the right, we open up that left armpit. And exhale, we allow the arm to drop. Let's do that one more time. So a little sense of stretch and open. And exhale, coming back down. Bringing the hands back through the middle. This time nudging the hips over to the right, hands over to the left. This time it's right hand on top of left hand. So again, you might just stay there, gently pushing the arms away from you. Or again, as you inhale, this time we lean to the left and we open that right armpit. And exhale, let it drop. So inhaling, rolling and opening. And exhale, again, upper back nice and even. One more time, leaning to the left. And then releasing, lovely, coming all the way back through the middle and finding our way back onto all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to open up through the shoulders now. So again, lots of options. Slide the right leg back behind you, lifting that leg level with the hip. And this time we'll bend the knees and point the toes up towards the sky. So you might, again, want to stay here building up strength. Or reach the left arm forwards. Turn the left palm away from you, reaching back behind you. See if you can take hold around the front of your right foot. And if you can manage that, you press foot into hand, hand into foot, and open up through the chest. Remember, both hands down, pointing the toes up, really building up some strength in the glute and the hamstring. Lovely. Wherever you are, slowly, slowly release. Hands under shoulders, knees down underneath the hips. Take a moment. And then other leg slides back behind you. Bending the knee as you point the toes up towards the sky, lifting the toes a little higher to build up strength. Or again, right arm extends forwards, turn the palm away from you, and then reach back. Maybe see if you can take hold around the front of the foot or the ankle, and then push foot into hand, hand into foot, open up through the chest again. That might not happen today. Both hands might stay on the floor. Lovely. Slowly, slowly release. Bring the hands down, bring the knees down, tuck the toes under, walk your hands back towards your knees, lift your knees and come into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Oh, again, let the knees bend, cradle the elbows, have that little sway. And then again, as you let go of the arms, slowly roll your way up to stand, taking your time, taking your time. Ah, have a little shoulder roll when you get there. So Barry's favorite now, a little bit of balance. One of my favorite yoga poses. So again, that sense of observing rather than critiquing. You can always use a piece of furniture on this one, a wall or a handy cupboard to hold on to. And we'll all find somewhere different to go with this one. It's one of my favorite yoga poses called dancer pose. So let's just bring the hands onto the hips and find that nice sense of balance. Maybe have a little rock back and forth, side to side, until you feel nice and grounded and even through your feet. And then we'll just bend your right knee, trying not to dump the hips out to the left. So just bending your right knee. And then we'll reach the left arm up towards the sky. And that might be where you stay today. Or you might pick up your right heel. And just pause there. There might be some movement. It's okay. It's called dancer. We move. If you want to have a little play with me, reach your right arm down alongside you with your palm facing forward. Palm stays facing forwards. Reach back. Take hold of the inside of the foot. Big toe is against your thumb. You might stay there, drawing the knees towards each other, or just as we've just done, pressing foot into hand, hand into foot. Lower that left arm level with the chest and reach forwards and kick up and back. Wibbles are good. We're dancers. We move. Remember the options. You might just lift the toes. Slowly, elegantly, we come all the way back up. And release. Lovely. Wibbles are good. This is one of those poses where impossible yoga teachers who were once ballerinas kind of bring their big toes over the top of the head. Not for us lesser mortals. We're keeping it real. So wherever we went, that was fine. Let's have a little play on the other side, hands to hips. This time we just pick up your left heel, again without bumping the hips out to the right. And reaching the right arm up. Might be where you stay, building balance. Or you might pick up your heel. Yeah, building up strength. Or left palm faces forwards. Will you reach back? Maybe see if you can take hold again of big toe against thumb. Draw the knees back together, and then again we reach forwards. As you reach forwards, you push foot into hand, hand into foot. Might be a big lift, might be a little lift, it's okay. The floor's got you up wobbling. Woo, you see, I fell out and then come all the way back. And release, lovely. Give the legs a little shake. And then take them a little further apart with your heels and your toes out. Hands on the hips, or take an inhale. And as you exhale, sliding down into your goddess pose, maybe just have a little rock from side to side there. You can bring your hands onto your thighs, just getting into the inner thighs, and feel free to stay there. Or coming down a little deeper into Malasana pose, fingertips on the floor. And again, you might have that little rock from side to side, picking up one heel and then the other. Or joining me in that Hindi squat with your heels down and your hands at your heart. You can always pop something underneath your heels to lift them up. And we draw the fingertips away from the face. pressing the hands against the knees and lifting your bottom up higher. So again, all of those options, you can keep your hips nice and high, just move from side to side, or fingertips on the floor, or joining me in Malasana. See if you can lift your chest. And if you can get out of this elegantly, you're a better yogi than me. Bring your fingertips down, bring your bottom down. Plops are good onto the floor and extend the legs out in front of you. It should be playful. So we should be at the back of our mats with our legs extended. Come down and join us. We'll get there if you're somewhere else. Now just slide the flesh of your buttocks out from underneath you so you can really find your sit bones. Trying to gently bring your pelvis forwards as we come into a forward fold. So reaching the arms up, we'll take an inhale. An exhale, coming down over the legs, chin space tucked in, and without any expectation of reaching our toes, let the hands fall. It might be on either side of your thighs, your shins. Some of you with more open hamstrings, we're okay in the back. Some of you might find your feet. And again, wherever you are, just allow the body to yield forwards. Just sending the heart and the head forwards, crown of the head forwards, lengthening the tailbone back behind you. Lovely. Slowly, slowly rolling your way back up. Drawing that right heel in towards you. Just interlace the hands around the front of that right shin or knee. So you can lift up nice and tall. Beautiful, feeling the spine lengthen. And then go ahead and bring the left hand down just behind your left hip. Reach the right arm up. And we're going to bring the elbow to the inside of your right knee. So you might need to open the knee to get it there. And then press your knee against your elbow, elbow against knee as you twist to the left. A lovely open twist. So try and get that little squeeze between your knee and your elbow. And then coming all the way back to center. Let's allow that right knee to open out to the side. If it's uncomfortable, you can stretch both legs out in front of you. Fingertips stay on the floor as you take that little walk forwards over your left leg. Again, not worrying how far you come, easing your way down over that left leg. Nice stretch into the back of the leg. Trying to keep your chest nice and even as you come down, not dipping to the right side or the left side. And walking the hands back. Let's take that left leg out in a slight diagonal now, bringing the heel in towards your bottom. Left hand on your thigh, your shin. Some of you might be able to bring your first two fingers around the big toe. Right arm comes up. And today I'm going to suggest you bend your elbows so you can cradle the back of the head in your hand. And then try and draw that elbow up and over. That's really supporting the head, getting a nice stretch out all the way down through the right side of the body. Remember, you can keep that hand up a little higher up the leg to get more space in the chest there. And then releasing, swapping the hands over, right hand comes down behind the hip. Point the toes, sweep the left arm in front of the face. Option to lift the hips up off the floor if that feels okay. And then slowly coming all the way down. Crossing left ankle in front of right ankle. You can cross at the ankles, you can slide the feet a little further away from each other for a tighter cross of the legs. Again, fingertips on the floor in front of you as we take that little forward fold. And I get so far and I seem to get stuck. And then I walk my hips back a little ways and see if I can bring my arms forwards a little further. Trying to keep your sit bones grounded down on the floor there. And as you reach the arms forwards, again, not worrying how far you go. And walking the hands back, bringing both knees up towards you and giving yourself a nice hug. Allowing the body to round down as you just give those knees a hug. Lovely. And then separating the feet hip width apart, holding on around the backs of the knees, or you can even hold on to opposite forearms or elbows for a little bit more support. Leaning back as you come onto your tiptoes, lifting the chest. We're going to lift one shin and then lower it down. And then lift the other shin and lower it down. And maybe you stay there today, or maybe you lift both shins, coming into boat pose. So ankles roughly level with the knees, lifting up through the chest, smiling and breathing. And then slowly lower down, feet hip width apart, hands come behind you. Palms flat this time and your fingers pointing forwards, or again, slightly angled out to the side, pressing into your hands. Lifting and opening through the chest, taking the gaze to the sky. Option to stay there, or slide your bottom towards your heels and lift your hips up. Maybe walk your feet a little further away from you as you come up into that up face plank. Gazing up rather than back. Bottom could stay on the floor. We'll take one more breath in. And breathing out, lowering all the way down. Extending the legs. And then sliding left heel in, interlacing the hands in front of the knee, the shin, so you can lift up nice and tall. Ready for that open twist. So right hand comes behind you this time. Left arm reaches up. And then we slot the elbow on the inside of the knee. So you might need to open the knee. And then pressing the knee against your elbow, you take that twist round to the right. So we've got more space for our bodies to move into in these open twists. So try and press that knee into your elbow. Feeling that lovely ringing out through the spine. And then we'll come all the way back to center. Letting that knee roll open, or go ahead and reach both legs out in front of you. And we'll all walk forwards, either over your right leg or over both legs as you come into a forward fold, letting the body melt down. Lovely. Coming back up. Let's take that leg out on the diagonal. Heel in towards your groin there. Right hand on thigh or shin, or you might be able to hook your big toe. Reaching the left arm up. Hand comes behind the head. You can really cradle your head in your hand and then reaching the elbow up and over. Getting that lovely stretch through the side body again. Just bring your hand up a little bit higher if you feel you need some more space in your chest today. And then we'll swap arms over. Left hand coming down behind you. Point the toes as you sweep the right arm in front of the face. You can stay there. Or again, lift the hips forwards and up. Lovely, lowering down. Crossing right ankle in front of left ankle. You can keep a nice open cross. Or again, go ahead and slide those feet a little bit further away from each other. Crossing a little bit more tightly in the middle of your shins as you take that forward fold down over the legs. And again, you might, like me, find that place where you think, oh, I'm a bit stuck. So try walking your bottom back and reaching the arms forward. You might create a little bit more space for yourself. Or not, as the case may be. That's it. And then walking the hands back again, just bringing your knees up towards you so you can again give yourself a nice hug. Other ankle crossed in front this time. And then lifting up, so again we can separate our feet hip width apart. Hands holding behind the knees, or again you can hold on to forearms or elbows for more support. We take that little lean back. We lift one shin. And then we lift the other, just on our tiptoes. You can continue that, or maybe you can lift both shins. And maybe you can reach both arms out to the side with your palms up. Lovely. And if you're feeling super cheeky, maybe you can straighten the legs today. It's all good. Oh, let's come all the way down, feet to the floor. Hands behind you, fingertips pointing forwards. Pressing into your hands, open up through the chest. Option to stay there. Or again, lifting the bottom off the floor, taking that little walk forwards with your feet so you can find more space as you come up into the up face plank, gazing up towards the ceiling. Chin tucking in, rolling your way down. And this time we'll keep both knees bent as you come down onto your backs. When you come down onto your backs, bring both knees in towards your chest and have that gentle massage. Well done, team. Oh, that's got us going, hasn't it, on a Wednesday morning? And then from there, both hands on the right knee. We'll bring the left foot down to the floor. Just giving that knee a nice squeeze, and stretching out through the low back. And we've got the option to stay there, keeping the left knee bent, or go ahead and stretch that left leg out in front of you. That's it. And again, you've got the option to stay there, or lifting up your head and shoulders, coming into half happy baby. So your right hand takes hold of the outside or inside of right foot. Lower your head, lower your shoulders, and take the sole of the right foot up towards the ceiling. If you can't keep hold of your foot, you can always hold on around the back of your calf there. So we're drawing that knee down towards the outside edge of the body. If that's not for you, just keep that knee hugged in towards your chest with both hands on your knee. Lovely. Slowly, slowly release. Let's all bring that right knee in towards your chest. Stretch out that left leg if you've not done so. Left hand on right knee. Let's bring that right knee across the body into a little twist. Let's let the right arm fall alongside you as you just take that final twist over to the left. And then rolling onto your back. Keep the right knee where it is and bring the left knee in to join it. So both knees hugged in, have that little rock, little roll. And then right foot to floor. And we give that left knee a squeeze now. Softening your shoulders, relaxing your face. And then go ahead and slide that right leg out long on the mat, toes pointing up towards the sky as you bring that knee in towards your chest. And then again, you can stay here. Or again, join me in that half happy baby. Left hand this time takes hold around inside or outside edge of the foot. Lower the head, lower the shoulders. And we draw that knee to the outside edge of the body. Again, you can hold on around the back of your calf if you can't quite reach your foot. And again, if that's not for you today, you just hug the knee in towards your chest. And you get a nice stretch out through the low back. And then let's slowly release. We'll bring the left knee back in towards your chest. And go ahead and straighten your right leg if you've not done so. Right hand on left knee. And we just bring that knee across the body into a nice twist there. Lovely. Rolling onto your back. Extending both legs, reaching both arms back above the head. Have a lovely full body stretch. Maybe stretch the right side of the body as you push the heel away from you and reach back through the right fingertips. And then swapping sides, really eking out as much space as you can. Lovely. And then gently let the body soften down onto your mat as you lower the arms. Down by the side of the body, or a hand on the belly, a hand on the chest, whatever works for you. If you want to keep your legs straight out in front of you, let your toes roll apart. If your lower back feels tight today, rebend your knees. Walk your feet back towards you. Take them nice and wide apart so your knees can just rest against each other. Do those little fidgets that we invariably need to do to, again, allow the body to feel comfortable. Those little micro movements to stretch everything out. And then when you're there, allow the eyes to close and the face to soften. And again, rather than focus on all of those things that maybe haven't gone so well, we maybe wobbled in balance, or hamstrings felt tight, or maybe something felt less than comfortable this morning. Again, take a moment to focus instead on all of the movement that the body has afforded us this morning. And just thank yourself for actually carving out time in the midst of what is for many of us very busy days. So the fact that we've been committed enough to make time for our practice is something to be celebrated. Hopefully we've set ourselves up for the rest of the day, feeling a little bit more connected to ourselves, to our breath, to how our body feels. So again, just allowing a moment for the body to rest and digest the effects of a practice. When you're ready to face the rest of the day, begin to deepen and lengthen your breath. Maybe just start a little wiggle out through your fingers, through your toes. Feel free to open up into that full body stretch again. Maybe have a little yawn. Oh, as you reach back. Oh. And then lower the arms, walk your feet back in towards you so you can give your knees one final squeeze. And then take that little roll or rock, massage there, or just stay still for a moment longer. And then turning or rolling onto one side, doesn't matter which, wherever space in the room. Let's come up to seated when you're ready. Ah, gorgeous. Lovely. Just as we did at the beginning, let's just bring the hands down by the hips. Again, think about lifting your breastbone just forwards and up as you soften your shoulders. And closing our practice, let's take a lovely deep inhale together, reaching the arms up one last time. Exhale, drawing the hands down, and again, just being grateful for having the technology, the time to share a practice together virtually every Wednesday morning. So lovely you're here. And namaste. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Zoom sort of disappeared halfway through.
Thank you. That was a good stretch.
Oh,